my name is Mara Molina. I'm a freshman at City College of New York, and this is my literacy narrative. I was born and raised in Sunset Park, Brooklyn, a predominantly Hispanic neighborhood in New York. A Mexican American. The first 4, 5, or 6 years of my life, I only knew Spanish, and the first literacy sponsor that I had was my first grade teacher, Ms. Lopez. That was the year that I would be dragged into school by my mother, and I would be crying every time I would be told to participate or read something out loud. That is because I didn't know how to read English, or how to speak it, or how to write it. This was a very rigorous year of my life where I considered myself dumb, especially after the fact that I wasn't able to do many of my homework assignments, and I was at reading level A, while every other person was at reading level D or F or G, which was way more advanced than me. So there I was getting enough back in first grade, but somehow I managed to read and write. I guess I was so good at it, or I was getting good at it, I excelled all the way through 5th grade, where I finally graduated from elementary, and I got these awards for reading and for writing. That year was the year that I finally felt honored and confident enough to help other people in my class that were only speaking Spanish and were way behind everyone else. That was the year where I finally learned about other people and how they were treating others in the classroom, especially my classmates who only knew how to speak Spanish while others knew how to speak English. I remember people would mimic them and they would laugh at them, but I thought this was really rude of 5th graders, because instead of helping them, they were just laughing at them. 5th grade was the year that I finally considered myself a writer, especially when there was a time when my 5th grade teacher, Ms. Marte, she handed me her brother's paper, her college paper, and she said that I should read it and tell her what I thought about it. Well, I remember thinking that, I'm like, why is she handing me a college paper? I'm only a 5th grader. That was when I realized the high expectations others had of me and how proud I should feel about myself. Freshman year of high school is when my confidence turned into arrogance, especially considering the economic and social factors where I attended middle school compared to the ones where I attended high school. In my middle school, it was in Park Slope, Brooklyn. They're mostly Caucasian, middle class people resided, and that meant that I believed, or I was told by many people that meant better education for me, and that meant that I would improve my skills compared to other middle schools in my neighborhood where I live. Anyways, in my high school, I came back to the neighborhood where I lived, which was predominantly Hispanic. I don't know where I got the idea that that meant that I would be less educated. So I went into high school with the mentality that I would receive easier material. It was finally until junior year that I realized that everything and my whole world was collapsing. That was a year where my mom started questioning my academic abilities, and I started questioning my own abilities, and the fact if I knew how to write well or read well, or why was I being placed in regular classes when I was once told that I was really well at what I did. I remember I wanted to be in AP classes, and I just couldn't be because my grades weren't high enough. It was junior year that I guess I decided to step up my game and start doing my work. Senior year, I was finally placed in AP classes, which I thought that would finally be challenging. I often find myself asking my classmates on how to do or organize certain things, such as essays, or if my grammar was right enough. I would often receive my papers back with a lower grade than everyone else. Literacy moments in my life has taught me that we just don't learn from sponsors, but we learn as we sponsor other people. I realized that literacy is just can be seen in very different ways. One person can be very skilled while another person can perceive that same person as not knowing anything at all. I guess we live in a meritocracy society, but that means that if we are honored for the hard work we do, we should also be honored for all the other languages and all the other cultures that we are aware of other than English and American culture. Sometimes we just have to be open-minded and just trust the different systems around us that are happening rather than just sticking to one system. I think this also applies to standardized tests. There shouldn't just be one common test. And if anything, we should teach everyone to learn in different ways so that we could all contribute.